Good morning, students. So we are going to start with the first chapter of first term. It is chapter number 6, seeds, structure and germination. So in this chapter we have previously discussed about the fertilization process, before that pollination, then fertilization, and we also know what are the post fertilization changes. You know that the ovule forms the seeds and ovary then results in fruit. So now we will continue with structure of seed and how it germinates. So first of all, what is a seed? So as we have read that seed is a ripened ovule and fruit is ripened ovule. But basically we use three terms when we talk about seed: fruit, seed and grain. Fruit, you all know, it is enlarged ripened ovary, and the ovarian wall will form the fruit wall, right? We have discussed it already. And seed is ripened ovule. It contains the embryo which develops into a new plant. If we see the structure of seed, we will find three structures. Outermost structure is its covering, that is the testa and tegmen, the two layers which give protection from mechanical injury as well as from the germs. And inside there will be cotyledons, one or two cotyledon depending upon the type of the seed, and the seed encloses a small embryo which was the resultant of the zygote, which was formed after fusion of male gamete and female gamete. Then what is grain? In some of the plants, the seed wall, this seed wall and this fruit wall is fused, that is joined to form a protective layer, and then we call that fruit as grain. So we can say that grain is actually the fruit in which fruit wall and the seed coat are fused together to form a protective layer. Like you have read maize grain, wheat grain, rice grain, etc. Okay. More about seed. We know that seed is a mature ovule after fertilization. It contains, as I told you, embryo, which will later on form the living plant. Embryo remains inactive. You know that we have seeds, we can preserve seeds for many years. And during this much time, the seeds are actually in dormant form. We also call it quiescent form. And the seed also contains food material for nourishment of the embryo. This food material either is in the form of cotyledons or sometimes in the form of endosperm also. So this embryo can withstand all the unfavorable conditions like temperature, drought, etc. And whenever the favorable conditions return, the seeds can germinate. This embryo will become active, and by using the food stored, it will again form the new plants. Then next topic is classification and structure of seeds. On the basis of cotyledons present, seeds can be divided into two classes: monocotyledons and dicotyledons. Monocotyledon seeds have one cotyledon. Mono refers to one. For example, maize, rice, grains, all the grains basically, and grasses also. Okay. Here cotyledon refers to the seed leaf. And dicotyledon seeds which have two cotyledons, like peas, grams, beans. Whenever you soak grams or beans or pulses and you split open, you remove the seed coat, and you can find that we can easily split open the two parts. Those are the two cotyledons. Seeds vary in size. Seeds can be very small, they can be large enough, or largest seed are those of coconut. Then on the basis of endosperm, if you remember, in the previous chapter we have read about the fertilization process, and here we have read that this was the structure of the embryo sac inside the ovule, and these were the three antipodal cells, these were the two synergies and egg cells, and we know that there are two male gametes. So these two sperm nuclei, the two male gametes, one of them fuse with this egg cell to form the zygote, and this zygote later forms the embryo which lies enclosed in the seed. The second nuclei, male nuclei, fused with this part, that is the spolar nuclei or the central cell, resulting in triple fusion because there were three nuclei then, right? And then this part forms the endosperm. usually endosperm is used up for the development of the zygote, but in some plants this endosperm persists. So based upon the endosperm, so if you are asked what, or if you want to know what is endosperm, endosperm is actually the nutritive tissue. It is a group of cells, a nutritive tissue which supplies nourishment to the developing embryo. Okay, so based upon this endosperm, seeds can be of two types: albuminous or endospermic. Endospermic or albuminous means which have endosperm, in the seeds in which endosperm persists. So thin and membranous and endosperm persists. For example, dicot, they can be dicot or monocot. Examples of dicot endospermic seeds: poppy, custard apple, and monocot endospermic seeds: cereals, millets, and palm. Same way, seeds can be exalbuminous, means non-endospermic. In such plants seeds, the endosperm is all used up, and cotyledons store the food for the means further usage by the developing embryo. So cotyledons store food and they become thick and fleshy. Again, there can be of two types: dicot or monocot. So if dicot with exalbuminous means no endosperm, then those seeds are grams and peas. And in case of monocot but non-endospermic means without the endosperm, seeds are like orchids, amorphophallus, and vallisneria. The structure of bean seed. We have to study two structures in detail. One is dicot, one is monocot. In case of dicot, we will read the structure of bean seed in detail. So this is a bean seed. This is the morphological structure, outer structure. You can see that it is somewhat kidney shape. It has two sides. This is called convex and this is called concave side. On the concave side you find a small scar, whitish scar, that is called hilum, and just beneath the scar there is next to the scar there is a small pore which is not visible. This pore is known as micropyle. We have read that micropyle is also present in the previous chapter. You have read, if you remember, that structure of the ovule, right? So from this micropyle, generally the seeds absorb water and diffusion of gases takes place. Now if we soak the seeds, and when we remove the seed coverings, that is the testa and the tegmen. Testa is the outermost membrane, tegmen is the inner membrane. Both these layers provide protection from mechanical injury, from the attack of the germs. We can easily split open the two cotyledons. So you can see these are the two cotyledons, fleshy cotyledons, which have stored the food. And then we can see that inside there is a small embryo which is easily seen, which is attached to the cotyledon at one end. And then the parts of the cotyledons are embryo are in such. This lowermost part is known as radicle, which will form the future root. This part is uppermost is called plumule. It is with two rudimentary leaves. Plumule will form the future shoot, and this is the part of the point of attachment, the embryonic axis. So the point of attachment, the region between point of attachment of this embryo and this plumule, means this much region, is known as epicotyle, and the point of attachment up to the radicle, this region, is known as hypocotyle. So these are the names of the parts which you have to remember. Their functions can be asked, or you can be asked to label the names of the bean seed. Then next is the maize grain. Maize grain is the example of one cotyledon, that means monocotyledons plant. So if we see the maize grain, it is actually a grain. Again, we have to remember, we have read that grain is actually the fruit in which fruit wall and seed coat are fused together. So this is the LS, longitudinal section of maize grain. So this structure we have drawn, I gave you as a homework in lab manual. So once again you draw this and practice it. When we observe it in longitudinal section, we find that we can see there are two parts. This part, lowermost whitish part, this is the embryo part, and we can see a small whitish scar, that is the embryo. If we compare this seed with this one, in this case this embryo is clearly visible, but in maize grain we cannot see it very clearly, only the scars can be visible. Okay, and this upper part, this is whole endosperm. Food is stored in the form of endosperm. This is the cotyledon. In case of maize grain, cotyledon is called scutellum. The endosperm and the embryo are separated by a single layer of cells, epithelial cells. So you can see this is a single layer of epithelial cells. We call them epithelium, right? And the outermost layer of endosperm, it consists of, it is made up of the cells which are rich in protein, proteinaceous layer. We call it aleuron layer. Okay. Then if we see the embryo here, we can see that this is the radicle at the pointed end, which will form the future root. This is the plumule. Both the structures are covered or protected by membranous covering. Radicle is protected by coleorhiza. Plumule is protected by coleoptile. Both are membranous coverings. So these are the structures of longitudinal section of maize grain. Then you can be asked the difference between maize grain and bean seed. So from here you can go through it. So in the next video we will discuss about the germination process.